Hello, everybody. Welcome to another speedrun episode against Andre Goal, rated 1535. Oh no, he's provisional. Oh, but he joined 6 years ago with a ton of games. So he plays the Jobava London. We're going to stick to our trusty A6 move, which is a very useful move as black in many different openings, in many different lines, especially here when his main idea is knight b5. So he continues with this setup, but he never has a knight b5 resource. So now we can play c5 without ever worrying about this coordination idea from white. And it prepares future queenside expansion, and it restricts two minor pieces. So we like it. It's useful. It's not just a Najdorf thing. If black started the game with 1a6, I really couldn't blame him. It's a pretty good move. Okay, so he's thinking, which is kind of weird because it's only move 5 and I didn't really do anything out of the ordinary. He has a choice of taking the pawn or developing. But he's stumped. He's going back to his chessable course. What is the recommended move here for Wyatt? Mm, yeah, maybe knight out. That's reasonable. So he just develops, which makes a lot of sense. We're going to develop our knight as well. But we're not going to take 2 minutes to do it. Because we're slow enough as it is. Okay, bishop e2. Modest development, preparing castles. I want to close my pawn chain, but I want to get my bishop outside the pawn chain first. So let's do that. Now I'm ready to play e6, develop my dark square bishop, and castle kingside. Assuming white doesn't do anything too confrontational, then I'll have to address it. So he moves the same piece twice, maybe trying to start some confrontation, offering a knight trade. I don't see the downside to that trade. I'm just going to continue with building my position, opening up my bishop, and everything's according to plan. Okay, the knight does support this idea. However, it's again just a trade of pieces. It's going to be a knight for bishop trade, which is fine for us. If you move it to the center, you get hit with f3. So the only other thing to calculate would be the inclusion of knight takes um, knight first, but that would probably run you into problems. Let's just drop our bishop back. Okay, now this threatens to trap the bishop, and if you move the pawn, he wants to take, and then you get a losing pawn structure. That's his idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to start just a sequence of forcing moves, starting with pawn takes pawn. This attacks his knight, so he can't just ignore us. He's going to take back with the pawn, I assume. Yes. Now I'm going to take this central knight, so it's no longer hitting my bishop. If he wants to maintain the threats, he has to take with the pawn. If he takes with the piece, I have time to just save my bishop. So he has to take with the pawn, hitting my piece. So I don't have time to just move my h-pawn. So he takes here, hitting my piece. If I move my knight, into the center, and he attacks my bishop. I take his knight, hit the queen. He has to take back. I do have this square. He is going to hit me. You do have queen a5. I mean, there's a lot going on here. Believe it or not. Now we have bishop e4. If he tries f3, knight takes here. If he takes the knight, you win the rook. If he takes the bishop, wait, here, here, here. He takes the bishop. That doesn't work. Oh, that was pretty cool though. That was pretty cool. And if we tried this one, does this change anything? Yes, actually. It provides an escape route for the bishop at the very least, and at the most, we just have a super active pieces at the end of this line, and he made random pawn moves that don't do anything. I'm curious if the engine says that I found the best follow-up. He gets a knight, I get a knight. If he takes my queen, I just take back. So if he takes my pawn, I fianchetto. So I kind of like all the lines here for black. So I think this whole knight thing with the pawns, it is an idea in the Caro-Kann Scandinavian, but I think it's a little premature in the sense it doesn't give him an advantage here. So I take that my piece back, right? He's hitting a pawn, I'm hitting a pawn, our queens are staring at each other. And this is never, he can never trap my bishop. So we just match traded, and I think this benefits black because my pawn structure's more consolidated than his. He made these pawn moves which disconnects them, and it's not clear what the benefit is unless he manages to use them now. But right now, whereas if he takes my pawn, I can fianchetto, which is good for me. If I take his pawn, he does not fianchetto. He doesn't take back because he doesn't want to create the weaknesses. However, this keeps my pawn, a wedge pawn in his position, and he weakened the dark square. So this also looks terrible for him. Yeah, it does. Looks pretty bad. Especially since now he's hanging this pawn as well. We can get our queen out of this alignment and put our rook here instead. So we can take a pawn with a threat, protect this guy. See, now we're winning. So we went from only move territory where we had to find maybe 2 or 3 only moves to not lose our bishop or be worse, to just being completely winning. Okay, so you do have to find some accurate moves, but they weren't so hard to find. You knew your bishop was going to get trapped. It was kind of process of elimination. Let me try this move. Doesn't work. Let me try this move. Doesn't work. Okay, then it has to be this move. It's kind of what we did. And we didn't even see like far in the future. We just like one by one, turn by turn, we kind of handled it. And now his bishop's loose. He can cement it somewhere, and we can get our rook in the game. And that's problematic because of this pawn, which kind of blocks everything. And now his queen has to go to some weird location. So it's really bad for him. Okay, at least he goes and tries to get the tempo back. The downside is I'm going to get that tempo back in the future once my queen's not here, right? Because I'm going to kick his bishop and create a secure safe house for my light square at the same time. I think I should go here and just kind of, I mean, it's not pinned, it's protected, but once I hit the queen, it'll be weird. We don't really have a choice. You can't go anywhere else. It's only here or you have to go here. So nothing to think about. But this just centralizes our queen. And instead of h6, there might be f6, but I don't really want to make it. And the reason I say f6 is because he's stopping your rook for a turn. But you could still go h6, and then when it moves, you'll have the square back. So don't play f6. Is he going to kick the light square bishop? Because that hangs the dark square bishop, right? And then takes, queen takes. However, I wouldn't even do that. If he pushes, I just go right in the center, rook's hanging and bishop's hanging. If he f3s, solidify on a great long diagonal, his bishop's still hanging. So he doesn't have any good moves. We're only up a pawn, but he's really in trouble. These pawns wish they were back home, and he wishes he was castled, and can now put a rook on e1 this turn. Then we'd be in trouble. But now he's in trouble. It's all about the timing. It's like a dance. He castles, but his king's exposed too little too late. Let's kick this guy out of here, and then let's go rook d8. f4 does not work because we have a check. Now we hit the queen, and it can only go to the side, which we're happy about. This pawn kind of needed to be defended. I guess if you take it, you then can give him some activity. But at the same time, you also have this strong bishop. Actually, what if we threaten checkmate right now? f4 hangs the bishop. How does he stop this? He can't move the rook. Any of these moves lead to checkmate. Any of these moves lead to checkmate. This can delay it. He has to go f4 and hang the piece, and queen f2. So let's just win automatically outright. Let's not go pawn hunting. Okay, he's not even paying attention. He gets checkmated. Nice. Very nice. He played a 10-minute game and took 1 second. He made his move instantly. It only took 1 second because it takes his hand physical time to move the mouse. If he could just use his brain, that would have just been a pre-move. Okay, so I mean, pretty straightforward game. Let's see. Center and development. Development and center. Our Jobava London specialty that you've seen in many, many, many episodes. A6. Preventing his ideas. If he's going to spend a turn misplacing the knight, we'll spend a turn with a useful move, a6. Later in the game, he's going to want to reroute his knight. So he's going to have to spend more moves. But later in the game, I'm not going to want to improve a6 to a5 or something. No, a6, it's done. I'm not going to spend more time trying to make it better, but he is going to spend more time moving his knight. Center and development. Development and center. Development and center. Center and development. Force move. Okay, so it's completely even. So okay, so this isn't winning for white or anything. It's just an all-zero game. So the best move. Wait, you could play h6 here. It's only half a pawn better. Well, okay, he doesn't already have the thing here, but he's going to put it here. And then when you go king f2, he's going to do this. How is this only 0.3? These are the exact positions that are like completely lost from the black side in similar other openings. I'm super surprised that this is, I mean, I guess it's playable by the engine. I don't think you should do this as a human. I don't think you should ruin your structure if you have an alternative. And here, there's one move that really can try to save you. It's the move I played in the game. It's just starting a bunch of forcing stuff. You take this pawn, which is the thing he needs to like if I take his knight, he needs to take with the pawn to create the double threat. So he needs that pawn. So I take it away. He has to take back with the pawn. to maintain that double threat. So fine. So basically what I'm doing is I'm about to pose him a series of tests that he needs to pass to try to trap my bishop. It's like that. So I take the pawn that he's going to need for the double threat. He says, okay, I'll pass your test. I don't take, I take back with the pawn and I just replace it. In the meantime, our bishop is now open because our pawn's gone. Then we take the knight, another test. He has to take with the pawn to maintain double threats. Maybe he doesn't realize. He says, okay, I pass your test. And now we only have one move, or we're just losing. And that move is d4, another test. For him, he can move his bishop, or he can take our knight. He has to calculate everything. He can even attack our bishop. He has lots of different options, but in all the lines, completely even via aim and black is fine. So he takes our knight, force move, we have to take his. And then you see, I knew it's a completely even game, all zeros. The instant he does this, I knew it had to be wrong. I don't know what his best move is. Okay, just bishop here. That's a weird move. But I just knew this was wrong, right? So you don't need to know what the best move is to know that something else is not good. So it immediately goes to -2, completely lost after this because we take the free pawn. He made all these positional weaknesses. His queen is toast because we're going to get a rook over. And it's just losing immediately. So he played very well. He actually forced us to find some only moves or some good responses, which is credit on his part. But then once this happened, he just collapsed instantly. Bishop d6 is the most accurate. Oh, here. Oh, we threw in a bunch of moves that we didn't even need because I was talking to you about it on video the whole time. Oh, we're going to put a rook here and his queen's going to go over, blah, blah, blah. But the instant he castled, my mind should have recognized that and changed my plans. However, now bishop d6, f4, he doesn't have that hanging bishop here, so I wouldn't have done that anyway. I mean, yeah, you still have the check, but here, yeah, I wouldn't have done that. So what's even the line? Okay, give a check, he goes somewhere. And then f6, yeah, okay, so I wouldn't have done this for sure. I don't even like it. So I didn't miss it because I don't like it. That's very engine-y. I like my move. And now here I missed it. Now there's no need for rook d8. Here, his only response f4 does hang the bishop with check. So now I definitely like it. This is why they say this is my one mistake at the game, but it's -4, so it's not a real mistake. But yeah, just go for the checkmate. I don't know what I clicked. Anyway, good luck in your chess. Submit your rapid games in my Discord. Goodbye.